Bonjour les élèves. Aujourd'hui, on va faire le dernier cours ou la dernière leçon de cette unité. So, today is the last lesson of this unit and it is called Tous, qu'on, appris. In the previous lesson, we did passé composé and I told you Tous, qu'on, appris means whatever we have learned. So, in this particular lesson, I am going to talk about 3 aspects of grammar more, which you will be able to revise in order to remember that these are very crucial and important for our coursework. So, the first thing that I am going to talk about, which we did multiple times during this unit, during this particular unit, which is called l'impératif. L'impératif means the imperative. So, as we have learned the present tense, passé composé, l'imparfait is also a mood or a kind of a tense that we use very often in French. So, l'impératif is used to give orders, advice, instructions and at times also out of politeness that we have discussed during an entire lesson. So, a quick recapitulation of the same. So, normally when you give order, instruction, advice, you address to someone or that someone can also include you. So, imperative is only possible for you informal, you formal and us like where you are included yourself. So, imperative only exists in the second person singular tu, the first person plural nous, the second person plural vous. So, for je, il, elle, on and il and elle in plural, it does not exist. So, again for the last time I am just repeating that imperative is only possible for tu, nous and vous. So, the imperative is conjugated in the same way as the present tense, but the subject pronouns are omitted. What are the subject pronouns? The subject pronouns are je, tu, il, elle, nous, vous, il, elle au pluriel. So, these are the subject pronoun. So, for example, if you want to say stop to somebody, so you are talking to someone, so vous arrêtez is the present tense, but the imperative is only arrêtez, arrêtez. So, vous arrêtez in imperative becomes arrêtez. So, you remember we do not put the subject pronoun je, tu, il, in any case il, elle, for that it does not exist for the third person because you can only give an order, instruction or advice to somebody who is in front of you and whom you call as tu, but you can also include yourself. So, that we are going to discuss or revise in a minute. So, you can say monter. You can say in a taxi that you go to the taxi, you say, oh, do you want to go to the station? The taxi guy can say, monter means get on or get on to the taxi. Conduisez-moi à la gare, take me to the station. Mettez votre ceinture s'il vous plaît, put your seat belt, ceinture, the ceinture we talked of. Mettez votre ceinture s'il vous plaît. And allons-y means let's go. So, here you say montez, conduisez-moi and mettez, these are addressed to someone. So, these are in second person plural number or formal you, like it is exactly talking about vous. Vous montez, which becomes montez, vous conduisez becomes conduisez, mettez means vous mettez, it becomes mettez votre ceinture. But allons-y is in nous form. Nous means we. The probable English corresponding word is let's go, allons-y. So, the imperative is a mood that we use to give an order or a suggestion to one or more people, like arrêtez, montez, conduisez. Sometimes we include ourselves in the order and use the imperative, the first person plural form nous. This is similar to English let's, like I said allons-y. So, how to conjugate imperative? Imperative is second person singular, first person plural, second person plural. So, here you have to understand that when you are conjugating second person singular to, we conjugate the imperative in the second person singular using the present tense form of the first person singular. We do not include the subject, we do not include the subject pronoun to. This means that the regular er verbs that ends with e, while all other verb ends with s for irregular present tense forms. Let's have a look. Parler becomes parle, finir becomes fini with an s, vendre becomes vend with an s. First person plural, the imperative for the first person plural form nous is the same as the present tense form. This means that for er and re verbs, irregular verbs, we add ons, and for ir verbs, they are conjugated like finir, we add isson like finissons. The subject pronoun nous is omitted. Let's have a look on the examples. Parler becomes parlons, finir, finissons, vendre, vendons. So, for the second person plural, vous, the imperative for the second person plural form, vous is the same as the present tense form. This means that for er and re verbs, the irregular verbs we add ez, and for ir verbs, they are conjugated like issez for finir. The pronoun vous is omitted. So, let's have a look on the examples with the same verbs. Parler becomes parler, finir becomes finissez, vendre becomes vendez. So, we also use this thing for polite request, like attendez means wait, attendez madame, veuillez vous asseoir means please sit down. Now, you might be saying that veuillez vous asseoir, because here the vous is not the subject pronoun, it is coming as a reflexive verb. Veuillez vous asseoir, because the verb is s'asseoir. Je m'assois, tu t'assois, il s'assoit, elle s'assoit, nous nous asseyons, vous vous asseyez. So, veuillez vous asseoir, this vous is not the subject pronoun. So, now for the reflexive verbs, to form a positive imperative with a reflexive verb, we use conjugated verb followed by a reflexive stress pronoun, toi, vous, nous. Like lève-toi, get up. Levons-nous means let's get up. In negative imperative, however, the reflexive pronoun is unstressed and occupies its normal position after nous and before the verb. Like ne te lève pas, no nous levons pas. You do not get up is not the imperative. So, do not get up. In English, we do not have the reflexive verbs in the same way that we have in French. So, ne te lève pas means do not get up, no nous levons pas, let us not get up. So, you see te and nous, they are coming like it comes in the general construction of sentences. So, now the second thing that we are going to revise today that we learned in this unit is demonstrative adjectives, this and that. This, that are used to indicate a specific noun or nouns. In French, they must agree with the nouns in number and sometimes gender. So, let us see how it works. We have done an entire unit on this, so you know it. So, just revise whether you have got the right notion. So, for example, for this and that, I have made a small table. So, if it is plural, then it is these or those, and for singular, it is this and that. In English, it is very easy, but in French, they have number and gender. If it is a masculine word, then it is ce, and if it is a masculine word which is in plural, it is c'est. Masculine, if it starts with a vowel, it is set, and if cet, set, and the plural remains c'est. If it is a feminine word, then it becomes set, the spelling is different as you can see, and the plural remains c'est, cos. So, in other words, for this and that, there are three possibilities. For masculine words, it's ce, for feminine, it's set, but the masculine words which starts with vowel, it is cet, set. And for the plural, it's very easy, it's always say. But remember, we have also done the adjective possessive, like where ses, sos means his or her in plural number. So, you have to pay attention between say and say. So, ce livre, ce garçon. Ce livre means this book, ce garçon means this boy or that boy. Cet arbre, cet homme, un arbre is a tree. So, cet arbre means this tree or that tree, cet homme. So, H here is mute. So, it actually A, E, I, O, U and H mute, you use cet, set. So, cet arbre, cet homme. But for feminine words like fille, une voiture, it becomes cette fille, cette voiture. So, c'est, set, we have just done. For plural, it is always cos, ces montagnes, ces femmes, ces livres, ces hommes. So, it always remains cos, say. So, remember one thing, cowtos does not exist. So, it is always cos, say. So, for masculine and feminine both it is say. The third thing that we are going to discuss today is we have learnt qui, que and où while asking a question. We have also discussed this thing in one of the previous lessons. So, qui est là, who is there, que veux-tu, what do you want, où habites-tu, where do you live. So, apart from qui, que and où is used for making questions, it can also have a complete different use, and that use is called pronoun relative. So, relative pronouns you can say. So, I have given you 3 examples here that we have already discussed while we were doing this as a main coursework during this unit. So, je connais le garçon qui t'attend à l'accueil. Okay? So, the question is, le garçon attend toi à l'accueil. Et je connais le garçon. So, there is a boy waiting for you at the reception and I know that boy. So, in French, you use pronoun relative to say that, and we are also going to give you the English equivalents in a little while. So, je connais le garçon qui t'attend. So, who is waiting at the reception? Je vais regarder le film que tu aimes. So, I am going to watch a film that you love or you like. C'est la ville où tu vas étudier. It's the city where you are going to study. So, here you see que, qui, que and où, they are basically joining 2 different sentences by giving a relative pronoun, and the relative pronoun. For example, in the first case, je connais le garçon qui t'attend, the qui refers to the garçon, and the second case, le film que tu aimes, so que refers to le film, and in the third case, où refers to the ville, la ville. La ville means the city. You know these words. So, c'est la ville où tu vas étudier, où refers to the city. So, le pronom relatif est un mot qui remplace un nom, un autre pronom, ou toute une proposition. Il sert à relier deux propositions, la principale et la subordonnée relative. So, it's a bit complex for you because it's very difficult French for you at this stage, but if you just read it slowly, le pronom relatif est un mot. Pronom relatif is a word. Qui remplace, remplace means to replace, qui remplace un nom, a noun, un autre pronom or another pronoun, ou toute une proposition or an entire proposition. Il sert à relier deux propositions. It actually relates, it kind of joins two propositions, the principal proposition and relative subordinate proposition. So, one example, nous avons écrit le scénario du film. We have written the script of the film. Elle a réalisé ce film. She has directed or she has made the film. Réaliser un film is to direct a film, or it can be also to make a film. So, let us choose the word make. So, we have written the script of a film and she has made the film. So, instead of saying the film twice, we can say nous avons écrit le scénario du film qu'elle a réalisé. So, here you see co kind of joins two sentences together. So, qui is the first one that we are talking of. Qui est le pronom relatif sujet, personne ou chose, masculin, féminin ou neutre, singulier et pluriel du verbe de la proposition qui suit. So, normally, qui actually refers to the noun or the subject, which can be a person, which can be a thing, which can be masculine, which can be feminine, which can be neutral, neutre means neuter, singulier means singular or plural of the verb of the proposition qui suit. So, normally the verb that follows qui, it refers to the subject that precedes it. Like for example, j'ai une amie, elle vient du Japon, j'ai une amie qui vient du Japon. So, qui refers to the une amie. J'ai un frère qui a 5 ans plus que moi. I have a brother who has 5 years more, who is 5 years older than me. So, j'ai un frère qui a 5 ans plus que moi. Que or QU apostrophe plus vowel. C'est le pronom relatif complément d'objet direct. So, it's kind of directly joining two sentences. You can say personne, chose, masculin, féminin ou neutre, singulier et pluriel du verbe qui suit. So, in this case, as you can see, tu as acheté un canapé et 2 fauteuils que je trouve très confortables. So, here there is a small thing like when you are putting que, the participe passé or the adjective that follows que, it takes the gender and the number of the subject. So, tu as acheté un canapé et 2 fauteuils. You have bought 1 canapé and 2 fauteuils means sofa. Que je trouve très confortable, which I find very comfortable, and you can see that comfortable is coming with an S, because comfortable being an adjective, it is taking the subject that is talked of, un canapé and 2 fauteuils. Elle a un chien qu'elle aime beaucoup. So, here you see que, like qui always remains qui, but que in front of a vowel or mute H, H muet, that means A, E, I, O, U, 5 vowels, and mute H, it becomes Q, U apostrophe. So, elle un chien qu'elle aime beaucoup, because L starts with E. C'est le pronom relatif complément de l'IO. So, now the last one, ou, c'est le pronom relatif ou is used as a pronom relatif for time and place. So, il remplace un mot placé avant lui indiquant un complément de lieu ou de temps. Like, c'est la ville où nous avons passé notre enfance. So, this is the city where we spent our childhood. So, où nous avons passé, as you know, nous avons passé is the passé composé. So, you know that tense now. So, c'est la ville où nous avons passé notre enfance. So, tu reviendras là où tu as vécu des bons moments. You would come back there where you have spent happy moments. So, here, tu reviendras là, it's a notional time which actually talking about a happy time. Tu reviendras là où tu as vécu des bons moments. Montez jusqu'au 3e étage de la tour Eiffel, d'où vous pourrez avoir une vue superbe. Climb up to the 3rd level of Eiffel Tower, from where you can have a splendid view superb. So, you see, où is can be a figurative or metaphorical time, or it can be a place. So, now we have also another pronom relative which we talked of, which is dont, which means from which, of which, that, whose, which we will not use very much in this particular unit, but you should have the knowledge of it. So, we have done primarily 3 pronom relative, où, que, and qui. So, où is for place and time indicator, and que is for direct object, means that, which, whom, and qui is for subject and object of preposition, like who, which, whom, that. So, in fact, the pronom relative in English and in French do not always translate in the same way. So, you have to pay some attention for that. So, before we kind of wrap up this entire unit, we have done many new concepts we have introduced. We have learned the name of the countries, we have learned how to describe the family, we have also done places, how to take directions. So, in each and every place, we have the possibility of using pronom relative, adjective demonstrative, like prenez cette rue, means take this street, cette rue. Like, so, what I would suggest you, like with imperative, pronom relative, and pronom adjective demonstrative, that the 3 things that we discussed again today, and with other verbs that we have learned, other tenses like passé composé and the present tense that we have learned. Now, we have sufficient knowledge in getting into a kind of a proper conversation with people. So, now I will just try to use one small paragraph, try to understand it, write it down, and try to create similar passages with all these functional things that we have learned. So, for example, I will say that Isabelle va à l'école. Elle a le livret scolaire avec elle. Elle a 3 frères et une sœur. Ses frères sont très gentils. For example, here, ses frères is SOS, that is adjective possessive. So, her brothers. So, similarly, now you can also give directions like prenez cette rue, marchez jusqu'à la fin jusqu'au bout de cette rue, go up to the end of the. So, you understand that you have learned devant, derrière, avant all these prepositions. So, with this, we will conclude this particular lesson, and I am sure that now if you talk and if you write in French, you will be able to express things in the past, you will be able to be very specific about this, that, whom, where, and also ask questions with all the question making words that we have learnt during this entire unit. With this, je vous souhaite une très bonne continuation de ce cours. So, I wish you a very good continuation of this particular lesson, et je souhaite que vous serez capable, I hope that you will be able to écrire, parler et exprimer tout ce que vous voulez en français, au minimum avec le passé composé, avec l'imparfait, le présent, avec les prépositions, avec les adjectifs, avec les adverbes, tout ce qu'on a appris. Donc, bonne continuation, bon courage et à la prochaine. Au revoir.